I just turned 39 a couple of weeks ago. I've been doing so much reflecting on especially my skin, my skincare, this whole journey that I've had, because I've had a lot of ups and downs over the years. But I've especially learned so much this decade. So I wanted to share with you 30 lessons I've learned about my skin and skincare in my 30s. First of all, your skin continues to change. It's not like it just changes a lot when you're a teenager and then it just like stays the same. I definitely have had changes with my acne, with spots, with wrinkles, pigmentation, even the actual shape of my bone structure. Number 2, skincare changes frequently take a long time. It's kind of also just the cycle of your skin. Shedding and renewing, it takes at least a month. So a lot of things that you use, you just have to wait it out and see it progress little by little as time goes on. Number 3, and this is especially if you're really critical of yourself in the mirror, always take one step back, because nobody's looking at your face as close as you are. Nobody's like looking 2 inches away from the mirror. So if you're feeling really critical about yourself, make sure you take one step back, and that'll give you a more realistic idea of how your skin actually appears to everyone else. Number 4, stick to your routine. I am a big believer that it's super important to not change your skincare all of the time, especially when it comes to certain products. It's important to give things a chance to really see if they break you out or if it's going to work really well on your skin. By the way, I'm going to be doing a little microcurrent device by Zip. It's the Zip Halo. And I'm just using the gel beforehand. I'll share a little bit more about them as we go on, but in case you're wondering what I'm doing. Next, learn what ingredients really work well for you. Not everything is going to work equally well on every skin. So it's really important to look at the ingredients of the products that you really love. Find out what things are really effective on your skin and sort of lean into that. Make sure you learn about the actual ingredients themselves, like niacinamide. I love niacinamide, and I really note when those are in certain products, but sometimes it breaks some people out. Just know what ingredients you're working with. I just realized I already said my next point, which is to know that not every ingredient is going to work with you, and that's okay. If it doesn't work out for you, it's okay. Try something that will work for you instead. Like for me, I absolutely love retinol. It's something I really learned about myself. I swear by it. I'm gonna tell everybody to try it out. I'm gonna start my Zip thing. I'm using the Zip Electric Complex. Is just the conductive gel for the microcurrent device I'm about to use. I have my little app teaching me what to do on each step. I'm just following along with the video, so it makes it pretty easy to know what to do. The next lesson I learned is that not all products that are more expensive means that it'll be more effective. So some things are actually worth the splurge, and some things, even if you pay like $300 for a moisturizer, it's not actually going to be that much better than using like a $20 moisturizer. But on the other hand, there are some procedures that I really actually think are worth the money. It's just not always like that for like skincare products themselves. Speaking of products, just because something is really trendy doesn't mean it's always going to work for you. Like for instance, snail mucin, it really broke me out. I wanted to like it. I wanted to just be a healthy glowy slug, and it didn't work out that way. The next lesson I learned is make sure you protect your hands. That's something that I definitely didn't do in my 20s, and I regret that a little bit. I wish I would have been a little more diligent about my sun care, especially, you know, putting sunscreen on my hands, protecting them when I'm driving, things like that. Food, sleep, and water are as important as the skincare that you put on your face. It is as much skincare as everything else, if not even more important, if we're gonna be really honest. I love a really thorough, long skincare routine, but I also like efficiency. And I had kids in my 30s, and one thing I really realized is the more time you spend on your skin doesn't actually mean you're gonna get more results. So a lot of times when I only had time for a really basic skincare routine, I just realized that consistency is more important than being really elaborate. Especially with babies, I learned to give myself a lot of grace. I'm not always going to have the perfect skincare routine. I do try my best best not to like go to bed with makeup still on, but sometimes it's not quite as extensive as I would like it to be. Sometimes I can just do the bare minimum, but that's okay. That's still like a lot for me on certain days. It still makes a difference. It still makes me feel better about myself to just get it done, even if I can't be perfect. So just give yourself a lot of grace. One of the huge things I learned is that your whole entire skin type can change over time. I used to be so oily in my youth, in my 20s. And as I got older, I found my skin to definitely get a lot more dry. I had to change my skincare routine. Instead of washing with a cleanser twice a day, I only do in the evenings now. Oh, I just finished with my Zip Halo treatment. If you guys are curious about this, it's a dual wavelength microcurrent device. So it uses microcurrent and nanocurrent, but it does give you kind of that instant gratification result, which is really cool and also really nice if you're like having a special occasion. But then actually if you use it over time, it can help so many things like fine lines, brightness, evenness of tone. It helps with lymphatic drainage, which is my favorite reason to use it, especially if you keep using it past like 6 weeks. So thank you so much to Zip for sponsoring part of this video. But if you want a little discount on the Zip Halo, you can use code GENZIP for 15% off. And I'll leave more information about this little beauty in the info box down below. The next lesson I feel like is super important. It's don't feel bad about expectations of what you feel like your skin is supposed to be. I remember thinking, I'm not in my 20s anymore. Why am I still getting acne? Why am I still breaking out? But the truth is you can break out at any age. It doesn't matter if you're a teenager in your 20s, in your 30s, or even older than that. So even if you're someone like me that does deal with wrinkles, pigmentation, acne, even in your 30s or maybe even 40s, it's okay, it's all normal. So if you get like skincare treatments, sometimes you have to go through a purging period or a recovery period before it gets a lot better. But with a lot of these things, just trust the process. Look into the research of like other people's experience so you don't get too in your head about it. In reference to reactions, another big thing that I learned for my whole body, not just my skincare, is to respect your allergies. I feel like a lot of my allergies, some of them I've had since I was a kid, but especially in my 30s, I really have had to pay greater attention to them and take them more seriously. Specifically, some of my allergies can actually be triggers for flare-ups or breakouts in my skin or just generalized inflammation. So for me, some of those are like dairy, a lot of sugar. So I know if my skin's getting a little wacky, I know if I like sneak an ice cream or something and I get a zit the next day, you know, I just can't get away with stuff like I used to. Just get to know your skin, get to know what you're sensitive to, and try to pay attention to the reactions that you have to it. This lesson is really important, just generalized all around. Be gentle with your exfoliation. Even as you get older, even if you have more lines or texture, just be gentle and be consistent. The next lesson, always use an oil cleanser or double cleanse. I don't use this on every single day. Like if I'm not wearing anything waterproof and I was staying inside all day not using sunscreen, I'll skip this. But every day I'm wearing makeup, every day I'm wearing sunscreen, I try to always use an oil cleanser first because a lot of those things are waterproof and they will stick to your skin. Even if you use a regular cleanser, it doesn't wash everything away. So if you do have sensitive or acne prone or skin that tends to clog easily, like myself, it's just really good to do that extra cleanse so that there's no extra residue on your skin when you're going to sleep at night. But if you do use an oil cleanser, one of my favorite lessons I learned is that an oil massage can really help clear out your pores. Oil breaks down oil, and so massaging them into your pores when you're just doing your oil cleanser at night, a lot of the little sebaceous filaments, a lot of the little clogged pores can actually get dislodged and get clear of your skin and get washed away if you just do like a little 5-minute exfoliation while you're already cleansing. So I only do that maybe like once a week, but it's made a big difference in just not having blackheads. This is another thing that has to do with skincare in general and just sort of paying more attention, but it's really good to know what skincare products will give you instant results versus long-term results. Some of them do both, like my little Zip device, but some of them are just only instant gratification, like a lot of massages and lymphatic draining. Those are usually temporary because, you know, know, water is always fluctuating inside our bodies. And then some things are more long-term results. So as long as you know the difference, you won't get your expectations like disappointed. I think this one is really important just for like a little mental health check. Know that everybody has skin texture. I know there are some like Instagram accounts and stuff that show close-ups of celebrities, and even people who seemingly have extremely perfect skin or you only see them retouched, they have fine lines, they have pigmentation, they have acne, zits, texture, just like you and me. That's a totally normal, healthy part of just how skin exists and functions. So it's good to have skin texture. This is another one that applies to me, and maybe some other people also relate to it. But just because you're blank, like for me, it's like just because I'm Korean doesn't automatically mean that I have perfect skin. It doesn't mean that I don't have skin texture or pores or acne or any of those things. And if you are somebody that exists within a culture that has very high expectations of how you appear, just know that we're all human and there's nothing wrong with you. If you feel like you're the only one struggling with it, I promise you, you're not. I have always been Korean and I've always struggled with my skin. And there are times when it's gotten better. There's times when it's gotten worse. If you also struggle with that, let me know in the comments what culture you are and what kind of expectations you have. It can be tough. As I am applying my sunscreen, I would just heartily like to say, find a sunscreen that you really love, because it makes it a lot easier to apply it every day and not feel burdened by having to apply your sunscreen every day. The one I'm using right here is a European one. It's from the company Isden, and it's a mineral sunscreen, but I think it's my only mineral sunscreen that I enjoy using. As far as 100% mineral goes, this is the only one I love. Editing Jen here, I realized as I was editing that a very important tip is to please reapply sunscreen. I'm saying this to myself, my former self, my current self. Please remember to reapply your sunscreen. The next lesson I learned is to be really open-minded. Even if it's something that you've tried before in the past and it didn't work for you, sometimes your skin does change over time. When it came to retinol and really dealing with bad acne, I had to go through 4 different rounds of being introduced to it over and over and over before I finally got a system that worked really well for me. But I have a caveat to my next lesson. Only try one new thing at a time. I think in my 20s, I really loved to try all different kinds of skincare. I was trying like a couple of different cleansers at a time and a couple of different vitamin C's and all these different serums, and I'd layer my serums and layer my moisturizers. And then when I would break out, I wouldn't know why. I wouldn't know what my skin was reacting to because I was just trying too many things at the same time. So now I keep it really simple. If I try something new, I only introduce one thing, try it for a couple of months, see if it works better or if it reacts to my skin in some way. But yeah, it's just a good tip to only use one thing at a time. Especially as I get older, I realize the need to be very careful around the eyes. And that goes for products, actives that you're putting around your eyes. It goes for makeup. Like when I would wear false eyelashes all the time, there are many days where I would pull them off instead of being gentle, and I really shouldn't do that. It's not good to tug at your gentle eyelid skin, so just be really gentle around your eyes. But that brings me to my final lesson I wanted to share, which is to never let yourself stop having emotions and reactions with your face because you're trying to preserve something in your skin. Faces are meant to express, we're meant to feel joy, and we're meant to feel all the different things. And I feel like more than anything, that's the biggest lesson I've learned in my 30s, to really be true to yourself, express it in your face and your skin without fear of like wrinkles or something bad happening to your face. I think that the wrinkles show that we have had a lot of joy and happiness, and we like to express that on our faces. I guess we have made it to the end of the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you've got a couple little nuggets of wisdom with your skin, but also just self-reflecting on your life as well. If you enjoyed this, I would absolutely love if you would hit that thumbs up button. It really helps me here on YouTube. Feel free to subscribe if you want to see more of my videos, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.